Hey friend, welcome back to Bible Tract Echoes. I'm Mike McCurry, your host. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to ask you to grab your Bibles, go to the book of Matthew, chapter number 19. I'll join you there in just a moment. Matthew 19. I'm reminiscing today just a little bit. Our theme is 21st century evangelism, how to reach people in the 21st century. And I'm thinking back. Some years ago, I was an associate pastor in Akron, Ohio, and we greatly enjoyed our time there. Both of our girls were born in Akron, Ohio, and we got to do some growing up as a young couple, my wife and I, but got to have the opportunity to invest in some folks, be invested in by my pastor there, Joe Grimaldi, and to God be the glory. He gave us a wonderful time. One of the things we enjoyed most was getting to know the people, to become a family with them. And I think of Brother Chris Stein. Brother Chris Stein, he's hilarious for one. There's a few things that just stand out about Brother Chris Stein. He might have a world record for the loudest sneezes possible. And you got to realize, Brother Chris Stein, we bust each other's chops all the time. So anything I'm saying right now, I have said to his face. So please understand, I'm not just airing dirty laundry on worldwide radio, but sometimes he'd sneeze during, a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening service or something, and you felt like your eardrums were going to implode. It was so loud. I joked with him last time I was in Akron. I said, whenever I'm in Illinois, where I live, when I'm not on the road, whenever I'm in Illinois, it's springtime, we get those spring showers, and you hear distant thunder in the distance. It's you sneezing, isn't it, Brother Chris Stein? Because he just could sneeze so very loud. But Brother Chris Stein, he still to this day loves fishing. He could talk the legs off a chair about fishing, most certainly. He's a good fisherman. He goes after all kinds of things, but he enjoys bluegill, crappie, all those types of fish. We would do a fish fry every year at the First Baptist of Kenmore there in Akron, and we enjoyed it. Had a wonderful time, great time of fellowship, and most often he would supply all the fish. And our good friend Adam Letts, he'd maybe do some of the fishing too. Brother Chris Stein, he could catch his weight in fish. It helps because Brother Chris Stein he's a pretty short of stature guy, but Brother Chris Stein, great guy. And he wanted to take me fishing. We had been there, maybe two and a half years or so in Akron. I was there for a total of five and a half years, roughly halfway through our time. And it was probably a Monday. Monday was normally the day off there. As an assistant pastor, Pastor Grimaldi liked for us to take Mondays off and coming off a busy weekend, a nice time to just relax, recuperate and things. And I think it was a Monday. It was a warm day. Call what month it was, but it was a beautiful day. It was a little warm. I mean, I wouldn't say unseasonably so, but you could feel it on the back of your neck. You knew if you didn't have a hat on, it was going to get to you after a little while. And we were out there for about 2 hours. You got to realize, Brother Chris Stein, it's like a routine for him. He knows what he's doing, and he was trying to teach me a little bit. And I told him, Brother Chris Stein, I am not a good fisherman. Can you imagine? Small lake, I think it was public. Again, forgive my ignorance. I know nothing about fishing, which will be demonstrated in just a moment. And he wanted to teach me. Small lake, we went out, and you could see them out there sometimes. You could see in the water. I can't remember if I even had polarized glasses on or not, but you could see them. And he was catching. We were out there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And he was catching them and catching them. And catching them. And he tried to give me a tip or two, and I'd be casting. And it wasn't like I was just on the wrong side of the boat. I mean, he would flip the boat around. He'd use his little motor thing, and he'd flip it around so I could fish where he had just been fishing and catching. I did a lot of fishing that day and not a lot of catching. I mean, we ended up, and this is not hyperbole, he caught in about 2 hours something like 50 plus fish. The number that sticks in my head is like 73 or something like that. I mean, he was bang, 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 tossed in the water, and he'd get them. Mike McCurry, yours truly, the host of this radio broadcast. He, Brother Chris Stein, caught 73. I caught 0. Yes, you heard that correctly. Those of you that are fishermen out there, feel free to chuckle at my expense. And I for some reason, I honestly enjoy it. I just never really did a lot of it. Fishing. My dad being in the military, very, very busy. And of the things that we did when he had a Saturday free or something like that, fishing was just not high on the priority list. Never really grew up fishing. And so I don't dislike it, nothing like that. I can absolutely understand the allure. You're out in nature, have an opportunity to catch something, often something that you can actually eat. And so there's some utility there. But that day I was not enjoying the fishing. Now, hold up a moment. I do have a point to this long story. I am going somewhere biblical with it, okay? But in all seriousness, we pull the boat up out of the water. We load it up and we're putting the rods away. And I noticed something. Brother Christine has, as I recall, a little red lure on the end, right there by his hook, right there, had a little red lure. And the exact same size, exact same shape, exact same plasticity, is that a word? It kind of jiggles around. I had the exact same kind on my hook. On my rod, exact same kind except for one subtle difference. Not so subtle, actually. His was red, mine was white. And I looked at Brother Chris and I said, did you ever think, brother, I was exasperated, honestly. Did you ever think, maybe you should have given me a red lure? Well, water under the bridge. Spilt milk off a duck's back under a bridge. It's too late. Day late and a dollar short to fix that occasion. I have, at times, caught a few fish. I have nothing to brag about. I think I caught a snapper in the ocean once. That was pretty hefty. Have no clue, cannot recall what the weight was, what the length was. It was pretty big, though. I don't have any great fish stories. Most of mine involve me failing, like I just told you about. But as I think about that, as I reminisce on it, honestly, it was a good time. Had a good time with Brother Christine. He's a fun guy. He's a cut up. He's just a great personality. Love him, love his family, Miss Debbie, all you folks. We love you folks. But as I think about that in application to this concept of 21st century evangelism, I think about the fact that we have an opportunity to reach people with unique tools. We're in Matthew chapter number 19. Matthew 19, you may recall that the Pharisees were tempting Jesus. He departs from Galilee. They want to ask some questions about divorce and all these different types of things. But then comes to him a rich man. He comes to him, and verse number 16 of chapter number 19, Matthew 19:16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. And Jesus, of course, not just savvy, but supernaturally wise. He knows how this conversation is going to go. He saith unto him, Which? The rich man says, Which? Jesus says, Thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Jesus saith unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. When the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. See, Jesus interacts with this man on an individual basis. He speaks to him right where he is. Jesus knows. He knows what his portfolio looks like. He knows what his 401k, how hefty it is. And so he begins prodding him a little bit, tells him you got to keep the commandments, and then he even lists off some commandments. And the rich young ruler says, I've done all those things. What else do I lack? And he says, I got you now, buddy. Go and sell all that thou hast, give it to the poor. And that was the difference. Now you say, hold up a moment, Brother Micah. You've talked in times past, a multitude of times, that the gift of God is by grace through faith. It's not of works. I'll actually read it for you. I don't want to misquote it. Ephesians chapter number 2, verse number 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. You say, Brother Micah, we're talking about 21st century evangelism. You said yesterday on the program, Brother Micah, salvation hasn't changed. It's still by grace through faith. And so what's different today? Why would Jesus tell this guy he's got to go do essentially a good work, go be charitable, be philanthropic, if I can use a dime word there, a 10-cent word? Why would he tell him that? Well, you see, whatever it is that is holding you back from salvation, that is holding you back from salvation. People ask, do I have to give up drinking to get saved? No. But for you, yes. You say, do I have to stop swearing to get saved? No. But for you, yes. Because if you'd ask that question, if that would be a reason that you would not get saved, then it sounds like you do need to get rid of that. Not because your good works are going to outweigh your bad works, not because you need to give up your riches and give them to the poor and help old ladies across the street, not because you need to give up your alcohol and your cigarettes and your recreational drugs, not because you have to do those things so you can outweigh the bad you have done, but because that is keeping you. If you think you can hold on to that, if you're not willing to trust God for everything, then you may as well not trust Him for anything. We're talking about reaching people in the 21st century. Today, something of an application, but really this illustration of the different types of lures. I want to point out the fact that Jesus reached people in different ways. Think about the maniac of Gadara. He was reached in a specific way where he was. Jesus actually came to him. Yes, the man ran out of the tombs and came to him, but Jesus came and spoke to him where he was, dealt with him in his particular situation. Jesus didn't cast out demons out of everyone because not everyone had demons to deal with. Not everyone came to him unclothed and out of their right mind. And so Jesus dealt with this man differently than maybe he did others. We have an opportunity in the 21st century to reach people where they are. I'd like to ask you today, are you reaching people where they are? If you have questions about something I've said today, something that maybe did not click, maybe something that did not make sense, I'd love to hear from you. You can text me at 309-316-7240. Again, that number is 309-316-7240. I'd love to discuss it with you. I have no problem if someone takes the Bible and challenges something I've said because I want to be biblically right. So, one more time, that number is 309-316-7240. I look forward to continuing this discussion on 21st century evangelism as we go forward. Have a great day. For His glory, we'll plan on talking to you soon. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to Bible Tract Echoes, the radio ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. Want to see our gospel tracts and other resources? Visit us online at BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. Or follow us on social media to learn how you can partner with this ministry. Thanks again for listening. May the Lord richly bless you as you live for Him.